Okay.
Should be.
What's going on, guys? Sky here, and we have no guests this time. It's literally just me and V. Finally. Yay. Damn
Hello.
It, I forgot, man.
Good job.
Uh,
You had one job and you fucked it
It's the
up.
PORT podcast where we talk about literally anything we want to. It's everything from Bethesda to how many dicks can you fit inside a midget's asshole. Let's get straight into it. You have the list. Don't you?
I mean, my game's up, so.
Okay, Fable. Let's start with Fable, I guess.
Okay, so there's an announcement that the Forza Motorsports team is going to be leading the development of the new Fable game, which you and I have very mixed responses about.
I'm excited.
I'm not.
I love Fable, and I have often said I will not buy an Xbox One at all. I don't even think about it. It's kind of a lie because I want to play Fallout 4 and Skyrim with mods, but that's not the point. I said I wouldn't buy it until there was a Fable game announced, and now there's been a Fable game announced. Technically, it's a rumor, but still, I'm just happy, excited. The second part of that question is, and our memories with the series.
Okay, but first
I'm gonna
we're
let
gonna
you
go
start
ahead.
that one.
Well, we're gonna first adjust volume because one of my friends is letting me know that I sound like shit, and I'm about twice the volume of you. So we're gonna go ahead and adjust that right now.
Okay.
So
This is also going to be a slight test stream because the past 4 streams we've done, they've all been kind of stuttery and the volume has been out of whack and everything.
yeah.
So this is also a sort of a test stream.
So if the video stutters or if there's anything that's going on, please let us know so that way we can try and fix this for the future.
And god damn, it's hot in here. I have my window open. It is fucking winter time and I am sweating.
That's because you're fat. Have you tried being less people?
Oh, and one more thing that I'm exceedingly excited about. I sent an email to the people who run the Fallout 4 New Vegas mod, and I asked them to appear on PORT. They said yes. So, get excited for that. I am, very much so. I even have a list of questions already laid out.
Okay, so it might be my fan that's doing it, so let's see if that fixes it too, because my friend said I sound like I'm in a wind tunnel. So whenever it updates, you'll let me know if that works.
Okay.
It's just gonna be hot. That's fine.
Hello.
Well, you said
Hello.
you're fine. He says we're equalized. We're just working on my mic now to make sure that it doesn't sound like I'm in a...
We have people watching?
Yeah, we have,
Okay.
we have 2 viewers currently.
Cool.
So once the stream delay catches up, you can let me know if the wind tunnel effect went away.
I'm fixing to watch it and tell you.
It would also help if I actually used my pop filter. That might solve some of the problems.
God, fucking sweating. Load already. Come on.
So that
I guess I just have too high standards.
Now that should possibly fix it, so. So back to the game. So, Fable with Forza Motorsport team. I don't think it's gonna happen. Well, I think it could happen, but I don't think it's gonna work out well. And I really wish I was in the board meeting for that. For whoever decided
Yeah.
that would have been a good idea. To me, this is just going to be the same thing as No Man's Sky.
But we have actually talked about this quite a bit, and my defense was Horizon. Horizon Zero Dawn was made by a team who only up until that point made first-person shooters.
That's fine, and it's, in my opinion, it's a lot simpler to go from a first-person shooter to an action-adventure game than it ever would be to go from a freaking racing car game to an adventure RPG.
Don't get me wrong, I'm skeptical as well. But at the same time, I'm hopeful. Because it's Fable. It can't get any worse.
Easily.
It's Fable.
Journeys is an example of that.
We don't talk about Journey. We just don't. Oh god, I have to sneeze.
Bless you.
Okay. Thank God for mic muting.
But, I would love to see it work. I would love to see another Fable game that looks good and plays good and bring back the memories that I have from Fable The Lost Chapters and Fable 2. But I don't think it's gonna happen.
You don't like Fable 3?
My issues with Fable 3 stem from the ending. Or really the moment you become our king or queen of the nation. Because the choices that are made there are stupid. The choices that you have are so black and white, good and evil, and don't make any sense at all. I feel like all of the evil choices in Fable 3 could just be summed up with, hey, your life's gonna suck for a year, but you'll get to live after this.
Yeah, pretty much. Yahtzee put it best.
Yep.
Okay,
But, I have a lot of good memories about Fable, and which is a lot of the reasons why I'm as skeptical as I am. Fable The Lost Chapters being my favorite game that I've spent a ridiculous amount of time in. To the point
didn't you once tell me you had rings made of the sword and sword?
No, my girlfriend, who I'm dating right now, obviously, I've known her for 12 years, and her and I, one of the subjects that we tend to bond a lot over is Fable. Hello, 1 second. I'm fighting an asshole with a fucking knife.
Take your time. You got it all day.
They're dead. Her and I bond a lot over Fable, and so one of the ideas that I had for our wedding bands was to take the, Sword of Avo and the good sword. There's and Fable The Lost Chapters, spoiler alert, 10-year-old game, I don't care.
That doesn't fucking matter. It's 10 years old. If you haven't played Fable at this point, you're never going to.
I recommend it, though. In Fable 1, the concept of the game is you have a moral choice that you can make. You can be either good or evil. And
there's no point in being neutral.
Well, no, not at all. Well, there's really no capacity to be neutral. You do have to make a choice when it comes to the quest system. The quest systems are very black and white in that regards, which is an issue, but it's still a fun game and one I recommend. But the whole the point of the game is you have these moral choices throughout. You can be good or evil, throughout the whole entire game. In the very beginning of the game, you play this little boy, I don't know how old, you're probably about 6 or 7 years old at the time. And you're going about your day, and this is when it introduces the moral system. In the very beginning is you find a guy...
Kick a chicken.
Well, kicking a chicken doesn't have a moral consequence. It's just fun as hell. In fact, Lost Chapters has a game called Kickin' Chicken that you can play, and it's a ton of fun. But, one of the first ones you can get is you can go behind his house and you find this guy cheating on his wife with another woman. And so he can pay you a gold piece to not say anything. And the reason for the gold piece is it's your sister's birthday, you didn't buy a gift because you're a lazy piece of shit. And so you need to get money, stat, so that way you can get her present. So your father's like, hey, if you do good deeds, I'll give you a gold coin for every good deed. And then everyone else is like, hey, if you do these bad deeds, I'll just give you a gold coin as well. So you really have no choice. If you play the game right, you can actually make several neutral choices in the very beginning that could earn you about twice as much gold. But ultimately, there's really no reason because you can get, I think like a max of 13 gold in the beginning.
Sounds like a very low amount, honestly.
Well, you only need like 3 gold pieces for the chocolates, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
Like, you don't need a lot of money. The beginning of the game doesn't give you much gold. In fact, the first, like, substantial amount of money you get is when you fight, or you get your first quest and you fight the Queen Bee. That's really when you get your first substantial amount of funds, in which Maze then goes and tells you, hey, buy shit.
Can we transfer over to the third game real quick? Going back to the ending of the third one, where you have this conundrum of you can either put your own money into it or you can do the evil stuff.
Okay, so in Fable 3, the whole entire concept is your brother's an asshole. He's the sovereign ruler of the nation. He's a dick. And in the very beginning of the game, you get quite a good example of that when he makes you choose between your best friend dying, who is the gender opposite of whatever character you play, or a bunch of random people that are protesting him and mad at him. And so in the very beginning, you have to decide who lives and who dies, which plays in later in the game, but is ultimately pointless.
Ultimately pointless, yeah.
And so at the end of the game, or the whole entire purpose of the first third, or really first 2/3 of the game, is trying to overthrow your brother in an attempt to reclaim the kingdom for you. Once you take him over, spoiler alert, not a good game anyway,
that's debatable.
My issues will stem from everything that happens after you take over the kingdom, but we'll get to that. Once you take over the kingdom, you find out that there's this big bad darkness that's coming to get you, and it's literally how it's described, if I remember correctly. It's just a darkness, and is going to try and take over your kingdom.
Literally. And
so from there, you find out that you need to save up 1 million gold in order to save everyone. The game basically says 1 gold piece equals 1 life of 1 citizen in your kingdom. Every gold piece you have is a life saved, which I think is fine, but the problem is then the choices that you make to either earn or spend your money.
It's one of the choices, I think, is to drain a pond to mine the bottom of it or leave it like it is because it looks pretty.
Yeah. So you as you're the king or queen of the nation, you are presented options that either spend money and improve the lives of the citizens, or earn money and is a detriment or causes issues with the citizens. And one of the examples is there's a lake that you can find, and in that lake, underneath it, they find there's a massive mine of gems that you could mine and get a ton of money, but in order to do it, you would have to completely drain the lake, and it looks like crap, and there's all sorts of mining and stuff like that. That one's not the worst.
But once again, it's literally for a fucking year. I would rather my life be hell for a year than be dead.
Agreed. And that's one of the problems and the glaring issues with the game is all of the bad choices it's essentially the good choices end up being bad because everyone dies, and the bad choices ended up being good because everyone lives.
Unless there is a catch to this,
yes.
Unless you donate your own money.
Yes.
Which, if you've ever played Fable, you know how easy it is to, for lack of a better word, glitch money. Especially if you have 2 controllers.
Yeah, I didn't do that. You glitched the funds. I actually earned it. I did it one time, and I will never do it again.
I did it on my first playthrough. I earned it on my first playthrough. On the second, I said, fuck that. I have 2 controllers. Why not fucking do it?
Yeah.
This was years ago, by the way. Years ago.
So my issues with the game stem from that point because the choices to me are backwards, and they're so just like either aggressively evil or just saintly good that it's stupid. One of the choices is there's this orphanage in town, and you can either shut down the orphanage and turn it into a brothel, or you can improve the state of the orphanage.
Sure, I know. What do you want with them?
I always turned it into a brothel.
I wonder why.
I was like a 13-year-old. Of course I turned it into a fucking brothel. I was 13.
I seem like he'd do
Fair enough.
to get what he wants. Probably makes a lot
But
of sense. Well, listen.
if the choice system at that point would have been a bit better and made a little bit more sense and there wasn't so many issues that I had with it, then I feel like the game...
Peter Molyneux was nowhere near the game.
Well, at least it's not Journeys.
We don't talk about Journey.
No
We just don't. It does not exist.
So, returning back to Fable The Lost Chapters,
People wouldn't have anything to trade. They don't have to
Fable 1 comes in two parts. There's Fable, and then there's Fable The Lost Chapters. And the only real difference between Fable Lost Chapters is, at the end of Fable 1, Fable The Lost Chapters continues on for another part of the game, where you go through and you do some cool stuff, and it's rather enjoyable.
Well, they gotta go.
One of the choices at the end of the first Fable is you find your sister, and you can either save...
Kill her.
Yeah, you can kill her. You're given the Sword of Ultimate Power, and you can only have the sword if you kill your sister. And so...
But it's a very good trade-off, honestly.
You know, until you get to the Lost Chapters, and then it doesn't matter, because even if you throw away the sword, you get the quote-unquote good version of the sword. So, that...
But you don't get to kill your sister.
Yeah, but you never get to see her again anyway, and it doesn't matter. She's never dead because she shows up in 2 and 3.
Fuck! I forgot! That's Teresa!
Teresa.
Oh my god! Whatever. You know what I mean. I forgot! Oh my!
So yeah, even if you kill Teresa
The
in
good
Fable
ending
1...
is canon! Fuck!
Yeah, well, I think the canon in the game is... Well, the canon's a little funny because Fable 2 does take place several years. Like, I think it's like a good 100 or 200 years after Fable 1.
And isn't Teresa, whatever, however the fuck you say her name,
Teresa.
dead in, 2? Isn't she just, a figment of your imagination at that point?
No, she's very much real. Can Fable be good without Lionhead? I think it could be good, but the problem is the team that's making the new Fable is a race car motorsports development team. It's the team that made Forza. And that's the issue that I have, is I don't think a team that makes race car games can make a Fable game.
I didn't think a team that made fucking first-person shooters could make Horizon. But
I think
I'm
it's
happy
a
to
lot
be
more
proved
believable
wrong.
to believe a team that made a first-person shooter story-based game.
Why?
Because they're at least similar. Please find me the comparisons between a race car game and Fable. I'll wait.
Give me a second, and I'm going to. Okay, fuck.
And you can't use the fact that they both have graphics.
I was gonna say they both have cars, but then again, I don't think Fable has cars.
No, I don't think...
Horses! They both have horses. Yeah, I'm just fucking with you at this point.
I know.
You ready to go to the next topic, or do you want to keep going on Fable? 'Cause I think we have a little bit more to talk about on both, actually.
This is true. Due to the fact that the Fables games have gotten more modern, there is the possibility that they could have cars. But I also think that if they make the game too modern, it takes away from the point of the game. The game was always meant to be in a fantasy-esque setting. Like, hell, even the game we don't talk about had horse-drawn carriages.
It was a Connect game.
Like,
That
alone should have gave it away. That's why I avoided it. The fact that it was a Connect game, I was like, yeah, not my cup of tea.
Nah.
Speaking of the Connect, I haven't heard anything about Connect in years, and I'm so fucking happy about that.
Well, that's because the Connect's dead. Like, they
I
gave
know,
up on
but
it.
the better part of that is motion controls are kind of a step back from controllers. It's more movement when you should be focused on less movement and more immersion. Because the more you move, the more you're interacting with the real world instead of, say, the fake world, a video game.
Yeah, there was an announcement saying that they've removed or are removing the support for the Kinect in its entirety. I have to disagree. I think motion controls, like, especially if they had done the Kinect well, to where it scans your body, could create a more immersive gaming. VR is a great example of that, doing it well.
But that is not a motion control, or it shouldn't be, at least. Because VR is inherently a step forward for video games, and motion controls are a step backwards. So you're really right where you fucking started if you combine the two.
Well, I have to disagree with you because, in my opinion, VR and motion controls are one and the same. Because it uses the motion of the controller to figure out what you are doing.
Okay, I have to bring up Ready Player One.
The problem is...
Ready Player One did it right.
I haven't seen it, so I wouldn't know. But the problem is, it's not that the Kinect was breaking immersion. It's the issue that the Kinect was just shit. And couldn't do it well enough to make it. So the problems with the immersions were being broken during the times when the Kinect would start being faulty and not work as it should.
Yes. But, as I was saying with Ready Player One, I'm going to tell you, do you know what haptic gloves are?
No.
Like a haptic suit? It's a suit that you would wear, and it would always know what you're doing and where you're doing it. Meaning, if you punch with your hand and you had on a haptic glove, you would punch in the game.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. That is inherently good. Because it is...
That's what...
It's...
and that's what the Kinect was
what VR should be.
And that's what the Kinect was trying to emulate without the suit. The problem is the Kinect just did a poor job of it. That's where the immersion would get broken.
Exactly. It's not that the Kinect was bad, but it was. It didn't utilize the technology as well as it could have.
Well, I don't know. I don't know the technology that goes behind it. There is definite flaws and issues, and they may have been trying to work on it. They may have been trying to fix it. I don't know. I'm a whale biologist, not a scientist. But
you say you're a whale biologist?
That's a joke that you'll hopefully one day get. It's a Futurama reference, if I remember correctly.
It's been a while since I've watched Futurama. I miss Futurama. God damn it, bring back Futurama.
No, I think Futurama's time has been long since came and went. I very much love the show. It's a great show, in my opinion.
Ending was amazing. I cried.
Yeah.
Futurama made me fucking cry. Like, many times. I can say Jurassic Bark and make anyone watching this fucking cry.
Please don't.
See?
That sad song, right in the feels. I had to go for a walk after that episode. Man. But yeah, I got a lot of fun and fond memories. I liked Futurama. I think it was very well done. But I do think that the ending was what the ending should have been.
Yes. And going back to something we talked about before we started streaming, the relationship between Iris and Barry in the TV show.
If we're going to talk about the Flash...
Hang on. I'm not actually going into that. I'm just going to use Futurama as an example.
Okay. So,
Iris and Barry have...
Well, first, let's give them some context.
Go ahead.
So, as of recent, I've been watching the show Flash. Mostly because...
And I've watched it since the beginning.
Yeah, I'm currently on season 3. We're going to keep out as many spoilers as we can for those that do watch the show. We don't want to ruin it for you. Which is why I don't think we should talk about the relationship between the two, because it's just a bit of a spoiler territory.
I was kind of leading into the relationship dynamic of Leela and Fry. That relationship is probably one of my favorite relationships ever. It done it so well that I think that should be the fucking standard for every relationship in TV.
Well, I don't think it should be the standard, because once you start following a standard, things start getting predictable.
You misunderstood me. I don't mean like everyone should copy it. I mean, that should be what they all aspire to be. Like, start out with them just being friends, and over the course of 13 fucking seasons, have them build that relationship, and don't just say, "Hey, yeah, I fucking love you, you love me, yeah, let's just get on." That's not how relationships work.
Yeah.
It's a slow build up, and it's not, "Hey, we're instantly together just because we fucking." You get the point.
No. My friend said the standard for every relationship requires spelling out "I love you" in the stars. I don't have that kind of commitment.
I mean, that's a good one. I like that one.
I suck at shooting because I'm
Okay,
a filthy PC user that uses a controller.
I just want to say one more thing. We really don't need a guest. We're fucking perfectly. I was nervous for nothing.
Told you.
Yay.
So, back to the Flash. At the end of season 2, beginning of season 3, there's an episode called Flashpoint, and this really isn't a spoiler since you know episode 1 that Barry's mom dies, obviously, because they mention that. But you said they're making, so what apparently they're going to be doing is they're going to be making a movie at the point of in the middle of Flashpoint, which is the
first solo Flash movie. It's going to be Flashpoint.
So Flashpoint is the point in which Barry Allen, or the Flash, goes back in time to save his mom, and they're going to be making a movie during that time, which has you nervous, I guess. What's got you nervous about
Very
that?
nervous.
Well,
it's going to be full of retcons.
Could be.
Completely full of retcons.
Very well.
And that's going to be, in my opinion, it's Ben Affleck, right? That's his name.
Batman.
Affleck. Yeah.
Yeah, Ben Affleck.
That's going to be Batfleck's way of getting out of the DCEU.
Yeah, that's
how I'm seeing that.
Yeah, I was about to ask. Isn't either the director
Yes,
no
he
longer?
fucking hates it.
Okay, so I didn't know if it was the director wanted him out or he wanted out.
He was going to be directing his own Batman movie, starring him as Batman, and he got I don't remember exactly what happened. All I remember is he is no longer directing that movie. I don't even think he's going to star in it, as far as I know. Where was I?
Talking about Ben Affleck in his movie and whether or not he's sticking or leaving. And the retcons of Flashpoint.
I have yet to see Justice League. Honestly, I really don't want to.
Yeah, that was a part that had me confused. Is I watched it was a video on YouTube of like cool moments from Justice League, and I was confused for a moment because I saw that the Flash was a different actor, and I was worried that at like some point in one of the seasons of Flash, like they just replaced him with somebody else. So those are two unrelated people, correct? The Flash.
Yes, Grant Gustin is the TV star, and Ezra Miller is the Justice League DCEU star. Gotcha. Which, honestly, I like Grant Gustin as the Flash and Barry Allen. I can't think of anyone else who could pull it off as well as he does. So, yeah, honestly, I'm a little bit pissed that he got snubbed for the role. Yeah. But then again, I think Stephen Amell is a perfect Arrow.
Which I mean,
when he's trying to be Arrow and not trying to be fucking Batman.
Yeah,
but Arrow's a different topic for a different day.
Yeah, and Arrow's going to be the next series that I watch.
Legends.
Oh yeah, obviously I'm going to watch Legends before I watch the Arrow. But yeah, no, I don't completely know the happenings that had led up to him no longer being considered in the role of Batman. But that's probably something I'll have to look into a little bit further so that we can talk more about it. And the next announcement that you wanted to make was the Fallout 4 New Vegas.
I've already made that, but I'll do it again. I emailed the people who made who are making a mod called Fallout 4 New Vegas. And it is a total overhaul of Fallout 4, bringing Fallout New Vegas, which is what you see on your screen right now, to Fallout 4 in Fallout 4's creation engine.
So it's
I emailed them asking. Go ahead.
Sorry for cutting you off. So it's essentially, for those that have been paying attention to like Skywind or Skyblivion, it's the exact same concept. Just instead of, Elder Scrolls Oblivion or Morrowind, it's just New Vegas.
Get upstairs and talk.
Which is inherently 1,000 times better than any Elder Scrolls game. I'm sorry, I'm extremely biased whenever it comes to New Vegas. It's like my first favorite game.
Well,
Witcher 3 and New Vegas are kind of tied.
For me, I've never been able to understand the whole Oblivion is Fallout without guns and Fallout is Oblivion with guns. I've never understood that. To me, they've always felt like separate things. So I can say with 100% honesty that, to me, New Vegas and Oblivion, which is my personal favorite of the series.
I agree with that.
I still need to play more of Morrowind. A friend of mine had been playing a bit, and the only issue.
Morrowind is for a completely different audience, in my opinion. Morrowind is more hardcore than Oblivion and even Skyrim, but Skyrim's not hardcore in the least bit.
Okay, so if you're watching, the game's not frozen. I'm just gonna go on a small talk, and I won't be able to focus. So, I've been playing a game as of recent called Vampire the Masquerade, and it does the direction system that Morrowind was doing in a similar way. But I was having a very hard time with Morrowind's direction system, and really its UI. I think its UI is really what ended up No, it's not trash. It's overwhelming, in my opinion. That's where I had the hard time.
That's a good word for it. Trash is not.
Yeah, it's very overwhelming. And I think that's where I had a really hard time with the game, is the UI. Granted, the walking was slow as shit, which one console command will fix that. But it's really the UI was just so overwhelming that I had a hard time with it, where I feel like Vampire the Masquerade did the UI much better and the written direction system a lot better. I can understand now a lot more. One second.
Okay. Technical difficulties, or just someone. I think it's someone at his door. Just da 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 da.
I'm back.
Okay.
So, I think that I understand now the appeal of the written direction system and finding your own way. I do understand now a lot more than I did before the appeal of it, because one of the things I've enjoyed playing Vampire the Masquerade is finding things just using, hey, this building, or go here and go down that alley. I do think that was really, really cool. But I do think it was the UI for Morrowind that ended up turning me off of the game, just because it was so overwhelming.
I have one more topic, and then I'm out of topics. So,
well, you never mentioned that the development team behind the Fallout 4 New Vegas mod is...
Yeah, I never finished that. I emailed them, and they said yes, they will appear on port. And by they, I'm pretty sure it was the head project manager that agreed to be on port. And his name is Meta, as far as I know.
Yeah, it was Meta. Well, that's the,
And I couldn't be more excited, because, honestly, just going to be completely blunt, I fully expected them to say no.
I expected you to get a robot email back.
So did I. I got a human person, and that made me happy.
Quit running, Jason. Accept my love. Where the fuck did he go?
I forget who Jason is.
He's the ghoul that you meet when you come fly with me. He's the leader of the ghouls.
Is that the rocket?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I went to go find him, and he just ran away from me, and I'm like, what the hell?
Is the volume and stuff okay? The stuttering, is it still there?
No,
You know?
I've been watching the stream. The stuttering should be fine, and the volume was fixed whenever in the very beginning.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just need to put like a marker on my mic so that way I know where the fade needs to be whenever we talk.
Okay. And I guess, do you know how long we've been streaming?
35 minutes in total.
Okay. You have anything you want to say? Like, talk about?
What was your last topic? I forgot what that one was.
Your first console.
Oh, see, that's...
What was it?
No, do you mean the first console I ever played on, or, the first...
The one you have the fondest memories of.
That's hard. It would be between the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2.
It would be the same for me, pretty much. I had a Nintendo 64, but I don't remember a lot of it.
But if I had to say, I think I have far more fond memories from the PlayStation 2 than I did the PlayStation 1.
I can agree with that.
Because that was when I was introduced to games like Sly Cooper, the Sly Cooper series, which is a
Jack and
favorite
Daxter.
of mine, the Jack and Daxter series, which is a favorite of mine.
Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank.
Basically the mascot era.
Well, you say that, but I actually I got a PS2 emulator because I've been playing Dragon Quest VIII, which is an old PS2 game, obviously, that I played when I was a kid but never beat.
I played it as well, but I also never beat it.
And going through the emulators, I didn't realize how many shit games there were.
Did you ever play Harvest Moon?
No, I've never played Harvest Moon. The closest to that I had ever played was like Animal Crossing, or
I loved Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life Special Edition on the PS2. I got that game for Christmas, and I think I played it constantly. Like, I played it so much that I ruined a PS2 because I left it on whenever I went to go to school just to pass time. Because I didn't actually know how to play Harvest Moon. I was a fucking stupid teenager.
The only thing about Harvest Moon that I have any sort of knowledge about is you don't ever buy the goat.
I don't even remember if there was a goat in Wonderful Life.
The only advice I've had about that game is never buy the goat. It's the biggest mistake you can make.
Stardew Valley is fucking awesome.
I like Stardew Valley.
When I got it on my PS4, I put like 60 straight hours into it when I first got it without even meaning to. It just like it's calm down. Calm down. It's like fucking cocaine. Once you start, you ain't gotta stop.
Well, here's enough to say about Stardew Valley. I pirated the game, and then I felt bad for pirating the game, and I had to purchase it. And that's a common occurrence with the game. I watched a video on, like, cool things about the game, and one of the most common things was people that ended up pirating the game felt bad and was like, hey, you should actually buy the game.
Yeah.
Because, when you find out, like, the creator's really awesome, he put a lot of time and effort into the game.
And he's still updating it.
Yep.
Like, I'm pretty sure the multiplayer is only like a couple of months off.
Yeah, it should be coming out at some point this year, but one of my favorite things I read was when the game was first released, one of the issues that plagued it was corrupted save files was a common occurrence.
And he went through each and every one of them by himself and uncorrupted them and sent them back to you, as far as I know.
Yep, he made it to where you could send their save file, and he would do everything within his power to try and fix it, which I thought was really cool. And I have an immense amount of respect for that.
Concerned Ape on Twitter. Go follow him. I'll link down below.
For whenever he eventually uploads this to YouTube.
Yeah.
Which I will do. Which another video I'll edit.
You want to talk about hype? I'm looking over at my game shelf, and I saw Watch Dogs.
Oh.
Let's talk about hype.
Oh, okay.
Meaning everything from Watch Dogs, No Man's Sky, and now Fable.
Okay. Then
Then
let's do that. Let's start with what is the one game that you had hype for that you were disappointed when it sucked? Which is probably going to be No Man's Sky for you.
Honestly, I was hyped for it, but like a month before it actually came out, that hype just was gone. Mainly because of you, honestly.
Well,
And the opposite end of that, the one I was probably most excited for was Watch Dogs. And it didn't live up to all of the hype. And there's a bug in my room. Oh my. It didn't live up to all the hype, but it did live up to, at least it was a functional game. Unlike No Man's Sky. What about you?
I have to say, if it's the single most, or if it's a game that was the most disappointing for me, it would probably be Fable 3. Fable 3, I spent a lot of time. I even emailed the dev team to see if I could be a playtester for it. Yeah,
Did it work?
No, I still have the email because I never delete my emails. But it's probably in my old Yahoo account that I haven't touched in years.
Oh, Yahoo.
What kind of Rivnen is asking? What kind of bug did you experience?
What kind?
Or the bug in your room?
I think it was just like a stink bug because it's fucking hot in here.
Do you guys have love bugs down in Tennessee?
What are those?
So in Florida, there's this abomination of a bug. It's like a big fly, and they're called love bugs because, and this is just my understanding of them, is when they mate, their bodies essentially fuse into one, to where they're two people.
Ew.
Yeah, and love bug mating season is the season in which your car gets dirty. Because you're gonna hit a lot of those.
Wow.
You're gonna hit a lot of them.
I don't live in Florida, but that sounds fucking horrible.
Yeah, the love bugs and fire ants were really
Yeah,
bad.
we don't. Fire ants don't. No, I don't fuck with fire ants.
No one fucks with fire ants. You lose when you fuck with fire ants.
Fire ants will fuck you up. They're like the honey badgers of insects.
Oh, he moved. Where'd he go? There you are. Oh, but Fable 3 was definitely one. As I said, I emailed the dev team and was like, hey, can I playtest your game? I was keeping up with it. It's the only game I can honestly think of in my life where I actually followed what was the progression and what's been going on with it. Because most of the time I just don't care enough. And I wait till the final product's out. Like, I didn't know anything about Persona 5, which was the first entry for me in the Persona series, which now I'm going to be playing 4 and 3 because of the emulator, and I think I'm going to try and get the Persona 4 Gold Edition, since I think they released that for the PlayStation 4. Either the 4 or the 3.
I think it was for the PS3.
Which is a shame, because I don't currently have a PS3. But the only really... There's a couple of differences between the Gold Edition. I talked to a friend, and she let me know that it's still very much worth my time. But yeah,
You ever watched? Go ahead.
But
I
yeah,
interrupted you.
no, it's okay. We're going back to Fable. But yeah, I was disappointed with Fable, and like the disappointment was also half my fault because I watched a playthrough of the game before I actually ever played the game. Which, I mean, I still think I would have been disappointed, but I think it just front-loaded that disappointment before I had ever gotten the chance to experience it. Which is a lot of the reasons why I'm not gonna bother giving any sort of hype for Fable, the racing car game.
I wouldn't even say I'm hyped for it. I just want it to be good.
To me, this is going to be the same thing as Jack X Combat Racing.
I just imagine, like, racing all across Albion and, like, Fable racing. Oh my god, please don't let that be what it is.
You're just drifting past the Heroes Guild. To the tune of Deja Vu.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god, damn you.
Your health's low, Guildmaster. Oh, I was glad that they gave me the capacity to turn that off. They even made fun of it in Fable 2. How often he said that nonsense. But, yeah.
I'm kind of running out of things to talk about, honestly.
Well,
unless you actually want to go back to the Flash and talk about that.
Let's talk about Final Fantasy VII's remake and Kingdom Hearts 3, and the lack of any sort of information going on about those games.
Kingdom Hearts 3 has some news about it, but yeah, with the Final Fantasy VII thing, yeah, I don't think I've heard anything about that in months. Since it was announced at E3.
2 years ago? No, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It was announced in 2015, and I remember my theory was they announced it in 2015, and at that time, my whole thought on it was they were going to release the remake in 2017, since that would have been the 20-year anniversary of the Final Fantasy VII game.
It would have been smart to release it in 2017.
Yeah.
Mark it as a 20-year-old remake.
There's apparently Rivenin says that there's going to be an announcement next week. That I'm going to have to look into, and we'll have to talk about it.
Huh. Okay, that gives us something to talk about on the next port.
Which will be nice, because I don't... yeah, as he said, that's pretty much been it, which is... I was talking with my girlfriend last night about it, and my theory behind that is one of the big issues that the player base had was the concept of the episodic nature of the game. So what...
It's kind of... wasn't the Final Fantasy VII on PS1 like in 4 different discs?
Yeah, it was a 4-disc... Oh, this is where I get it backwards, because... Between Final Fantasy VII and 8, it's, one of them has 3, the other one has 4, if I remember. I think Final Fantasy VII had 3 and 4 had, or sorry, 8 had 4, but I can't remember. One of them had 3, the other one had 4. Either way, it was a multi-disc game. But the problem is the episodic nature, and the reason why the fan base was frustrated was they said the first episode was going to just be Midgar. Which...
Just fucking stupid.
If you go... Yeah, 3 discs. So, yeah. 8 was 4, 7 had 3. The first episode was going to take complete place in Midgar. And if you do Midgar well enough, you can get out of there in about 2 to 3 hours.
For $60, mind you.
Yeah, and that was another thing, is we were all mad because they said that each episode was going to be...
Even the fucking Order 1886 has 4 hours of fucking gameplay. And that's not a 20-year-old game either.
No. But my theory on it that I was talking to her last night about is I think that a lot of the reasons they kept quiet and are keeping quiet is I think they're going to... I hope, at least, this is a hope, I'm not 100% certain, we'll hopefully find out next week, is I hope that they are removing the episodic nature, which is a lot of the reasons why they've been quiet, because there was a ton of fan backlash due to the fact that they had announced
Rightly
that.
so.
Yeah, because in my opinion, if you're going to chop it up in like that, and Midgar is 1 disc, you could easily stretch the game out to 14 discs if you would want. And I'm not going to spend $60 each time over that. So my hope...
$5 a disc would be okay, though.
I don't think... Well, that's the hard part, is where there would have to be an in-between. And I think the only real reason and only real give is if they just go to the episodic nature. But Mariah thinks that... another reason why they've been quiet and haven't mentioned anything is they're trying to... Bare minimum would be 1 game per disc. Yeah. And like they even said that each disc, even though it was only going to be Midgar, would have the same length as a full-featured disc. But they would have to add so much content to each thing that I can't agree with that, even with cutscenes and voice acting.
I'm not against a 3-hour game. I'm not. Like, some of my favorite games are short. For example, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but that's not the point. There have been games that have pulled off a short game length and still be worth it.
Yeah.
But not for $60 fucking.
Yeah, and Rivenin says it the best. If it's gonna be where it's like 14 discs, I'm just gonna wait for the, as he puts it, gold edition, which will be all at once. But I don't think they're gonna do it. Mariah thinks that they've been keeping quiet because they're trying to do twofold. That she thinks they might be trying to work on the materia system a little bit more and try
That
the materia system.
I've never played 7, so I don't know what that is.
Okay, so in the game there's this item called materia, and what it is it's a physical representation of magical powers. Each materia has a different purpose. There's different color coordinations for different like effects. I think the summons are one colors, healing magic is another. I don't know the full system by heart, but all it is it's represented by an orb. And like, if you want to summon Bahamut, you need to have that orb equipped to an item. But each orb has its pros and cons. Summon magic, I think, increases your magical, or how much magic you have, while also reducing your health a little bit. So like, if you want to cast Curaga, you need to put that Materius on an item. If you want to be able to summon Bahamut, you need to put that on an item. If you want to be able to do any sort of thing other than like attack, use items, and dip out, you need to put a materia on. So that's how you get your spells, your summons, and all of that.
Okay.
She thinks that they might be working on the materia system. I'm not certain why they would need to work on the materia system, but one thing I do think that they are working on, and I can agree with her with, is they're trying to iron out the story. Because between Crisis Core and 7 itself, and I think Advent Children, and I think there was one before Advent Children, I'm not certain because I'm not 100% on Final Fantasy VII's lore. They have tried everything within their powers to iron out the story, and she thinks that's what they're doing, is trying to completely iron it out, make sure it's solid, and which is another reason why they may be being quiet. But we'll definitely find out next week, and that will be a topic we can discuss if it is if the announcement's before Friday.
Okay. Did you ever play Final Fantasy X too, or just 10 in general?
Of the Final Fantasies that have come out, I have played Final Fantasy VII, but not beat it. I got to the very end where you fight Sephiroth, and my PlayStation's in the storage right now, so I really couldn't finish it. I've played 8, but never beat it, and it is my favorite in the series. I've played a little bit of 10, and I hated it because of Titus. I never played 10. It wasn't even his laugh, it's just I hate him as a character. Like, spoilers, if you don't know, he's dead in the end, and I'm glad. I never played...
But is he really? Is he really?
I don't know, because I never played the game, but 4 hours long, so...
10-2 actually goes into that, but
yeah.
It's been a while since I've played it. I actually have the re-release on PS3, and I want to buy it on PS4.
Yeah, I never played 10-2. I played I think it's either 11 or 12. The one with the bunny lady.
I don't fucking know what you're talking about.
Rivden will know. He probably knows which one I'm talking about. But there's one with this bunny lady. I played a little bit of that one, but never beat it. I played the 13-2, and Lightning Returns, and I don't talk about them.
I think I have Final Fantasy 13, Lightning Returns.
Yeah, I've
never put it in my PS3 though. I got it from a sale player.
For the best, let's be honest. 13 or Lightning Returns is just Lightning Barbie doll dress up game, and it's dumb. And then I've played 15 and beat it.
I think I still have Shayo Player's copy of 15 as well, and I haven't touched it in a while. I've been meaning to, but Noctis pisses me off.
I need to find my disc because the final DLC for Ignis came out, and I haven't had the opportunity to play it. So I need to figure out...
Also, getting a new DLC in the form of the Royal Package or something.
I don't know. I have the whatchamacallit, the season pass. So I'm not too worried about it. I have but I do need to find my discs.
I think you get it if you have the season pass.
I would assume so.
It includes like a couple of city ruins and stuff like that. I don't know exactly what it comes with. Whew.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to find my copy of 15 so I can play Ignis's DLC, which is really cool because now in the game, because if you have all the DLCs, you are able to switch to the different characters. Like before you could just play Noctis, now you can actually play as GLaDOS or...
That actually makes it somewhat better, because I hate Noctis with a passion. This dude has everything handed to him, and he still has the balls to be fucking broody? Man, get the fuck out.
I mean, please point to me the Final Fantasy game where the character's not broody.
There's a difference between being broody once or twice, or even like halfway through the game. But no, from what I've heard, Noctis never changes. He's always broody. He's always angsty. He's always...
I mean, I can't say much with my favorite Final Fantasy being 8 and Squall's favorite sentence is whatever.
Yeah, but Leon is fucking badass. I'm basing that solely off of Kingdom Hearts, by the way.
I mean, he takes a sword to the face in the very beginning of Final Fantasy VIII.
Still, okay, thank you for proving my point. He's a fucking badass.
I mean, sure. Gets beat by his rival in the first cutscene of the game. Badass.
Okay, that just gives you more reason to fucking...
No, there's plenty of reasons to hate Cypher.
Yeah, I'm basing this entirely off of fucking Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, there's plenty of reasons to hate Cypher in Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh, which one has Kefka? Is that 6?
Yes, that is 6. Which is another one I need to play. I need to play
I've
6.
heard,
I did play 8. I forgot. I have played 8. Hope. Yeah, Hope. I hated Hope. Ouch, this hurts. Oh, I'm dead. I didn't like Hope. I didn't like a lot of the characters from 13 because Lightning was cool in 13, but they destroyed her after after that. Who's the guy with the guns and the chocobo in his hair? Raj?
I don't fucking know.
He was cool. Yeah, Leon is cool. He fights a time-controlling sorceress who can literally eat the world and win. Which is a fun concept in itself. There's the whole theory that Leon is dead at the end of, or just at the end of Disc 1.
Yeah, I've heard that myself.
I don't think the theory's true, just because of where the spear hits, there is a good, strong possibility he could live. And I see where they're coming from. After that, things do get weird, especially with the space aliens and all of that nonsense.
Shut the fuck up.
But I enjoyed it for what it was. And, like, I can understand, the brooding is an issue. One of the real reasons why I was ever really able to deal with Leon's broodiness is I gave him the voice of Pee Wee Herman when I played.
I miss Pee Wee Herman, especially in today's time. But let's transition to Pee Wee Herman for just a moment. When you think about it, he got the short end of the stick.
Now,
He lost his career because he masturbated in a porn theater, as far as I know.
Like, that's the thing, is I don't know enough about Pee Wee Herman, because the show, I never really got into the show. I never really got into the movies. I know that he is a figure in media, but I never really learned anything about him. So I really wouldn't have... I know that, yes, he got caught masturbating in a movie theater.
I think it was a porn theater, specifically for porn.
I don't
Pretty
know.
sure it
I don't know
was.
why you would go to a theater to watch porn. It just seems like it'd be awkward for
Because
everyone.
it was like the 1970s.
There
wasn't no fucking internet.
I still feel like it would be awkward for everyone involved.
Well, yeah, but it was either that or just
movies.
That's not the point. The point is,
I think
you think
Blockbuster
about
existed.
the shit that's going on today, like in regards to Hollywood and shit like that.
Yeah.
Pee Wee Herman got fucked. Like, that is nothing compared to what's going on today.
Well, I mean, yes and no. It's public indecency, but
it's in the right place.
I don't know. I don't know the rules behind them. I don't know if there was a no dick out policy.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a porn theater. I would assume that's not a thing.
1 second. I got that one NCR Ranger bounty hunter that's like, hey.
Fuck that guy.
Well,
like,
mine's a lady, and she's about to get shot in the face.
Yeah. You mean whenever you piss off the NCR and they send someone after you?
Yep.
Telling you have 3 days to improve our... Yes.
Yeah, she's about to die. Because... nope.
By that point, I normally have my 50 cal anti-material rifle.
Yeah,
so,
no.
yeah, 1 shot to the face and she's dead.
Well, no, oh, she killed me. I used console commands to make my character awesome. Even though I died twice in this stream. Granted, I'm not really giving 100% attention to the game. But yeah. Oh, that sent me back. Yeah, I didn't know. Like, it's like Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan wants to be... Wow, what did she want to be? She wants to be...
Out Trump.
No,
is her exact word.
No. She wants to be... it's like a
Batgirl.
Batgirl, that's who it was.
Which, honestly, is just fucking stupid.
I don't know, because I didn't think she was a bad actress. I definitely think that, doing drugs.
Mean Girls is fucking awesome.
I don't think doing drugs was her best option or her best moment, but by all accounts, I don't think she was a bad actress. I think that she could return to acting and do well at it.
Awesome.
But due to everything that's happened, I don't think that it would make sense for her to jump into a large role like that. To me, I think she should start off at a medium role or a simple one at that, and just work from there.
From what I watched of Anger Management, which is Charlie Sheen's show after 2.5 Men.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure she was on, I think, 1 or 2 episodes of that, which is where she dated Charlie, which just is ironic in every sense of the word, and it's just beautiful because they belong together. They are both so fucked up that they belong together. I'm getting hungry.
Well, it is the hour mark, so if you want to call it, we could.
Do you want to? Do you have anything else you want to talk about? I'm fine to keep going. I'm not that hungry.
Well, we were talking about Final Fantasy VII and Kingdom Hearts 3. So
let's talk about Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
I haven't talked about that yet.
Do you think that they're going to include the Jedi?
Yes, unfortunately. I think they're going to be a Star Wars world. I think it's either going to be the Death Star or Tatooine.
So you don't sound like you're...
Or Hoth.
You sound like you're not super interested in that as a concept.
I don't like Star Wars.
Okay.
I don't even want Marvel to be in Kingdom Hearts. Because honestly, that just seems... It doesn't seem like it would fit well. It's too realistic. Stick with me here. Beauty and the Beast, Toy Story, Aladdin, Halloween Town, Mermaid, the Little Mermaid. What do all of those have in common?
Pirates of the Caribbean was into... Let's see what...
Yeah, but we really don't talk about that one because they fucked that one so hard.
I mean, yeah, they fucked up the continuity, but that was probably my favorite world. There was a lot of fun stuff there. The enemies were super cool. yes, it is a game about a kid with a duck and a dog fighting the world with a mouse. But at the end of the day, there are humans in the world. Leon is a human. Cypher is a human. Cloud is a human. Aerith is a human. They're all humans. To me, it doesn't... Like, they did Tron. Tron World was completely human. And that was really good and really cool too as well. So they can do it, and they can do it well. I understand if you don't like the Star Wars series, that's fine. You don't like that makes sense. But I do think that they have the capacity to do Star Wars quite well, and I'm curious to see what the Keyblade that hurts would look like in that world. Because I think it would be really cool to have like a lightsaber Keyblade, but that's also because I very much enjoy the Star Wars series. But I'm curious to see how the combat works, because just from the trailers that we've seen alone, a lot of the combat looks really cool, and a lot of the worlds look massive.
Oh my god! Discord fucked up, and Discord fucked up, and it made me leave, so I had to come back. What were you saying? I just spent like the last 5 minutes, or however long my voice stopped, talking about Star Wars and Marvel and Kingdom Hearts. I'm sorry.
No,
Discord
okay.
fucked up.
Why? Oh my god, you stop. I'm 1 second. I need to have a conversation with this guy. Gonna have to edit this video because my friend sent me a message and it showed up on stream. But
Well, that's the glory of doing it on Twitch. We can export it to YouTube and then edit it.
yeah, and that's something like because we have some of your people I think that watch your stuff are watching is I'm now going to be trying to edit your content. Like one of his videos, I gave an intro. It's a simple intro and a simple outro. I don't know. I did it yesterday, and I don't know anything about editing. I'm going to be watching videos to try and improve that way. He can have some decently edited videos. First we have to...
And that's actually a goal on my Patreon. $60 is how much it would cost to get Adobe Premiere Pro and not have to worry about losing it.
Yep.
So Patreon is in the description. Go donate.
But yeah, no. I'm super curious to see how Kingdom Hearts 3 works because I very much enjoyed the series. I liked Kingdom Hearts 2. I loved Kingdom Hearts 2. It was a definite improvement. The only thing I didn't like was obviously the intro, and everyone has their issues with the intro.
Yeah, the intro is just not good.
It's not that it's not
I'm pretty
good.
sure I had a save that right after you meet Roxas, right after you get to Sora, I saved immediately. And from that on, I just loaded up that save if I ever wanted to play Kingdom Hearts 2.
It's not that the intro is bad, it just suffers the same faults as, what is it? I had it in my head. Twilight Princess.
Yeah, it's overlong.
Yeah, it's a lengthy intro,
and also if you didn't play Chain of Memories, you're lost as fuck.
Which I didn't when I first played.
Neither did I.
I still want to know.
Later.
If anyone knows, what's up with Roxas's fingers having one black stripe and one white stripe?
What?
Roxas, and I double checked the videos. I'm fairly certain this is an everyday thing. Roxas on his hand. Fuck you, Red Scorpion. Has on one finger a white band around it, and on the other finger there's a black band.
That could just be a yin and yang thing.
I don't know. I've always wondered about that. Maybe it was just my game was glitched every time Roxas showed up, but it was every time Roxas showed up. And I think if I remember correctly, there's even videos of other people that had, it had the same thing that Roxas had on its hands. So, I'm curious about that because I don't ever see a lot of people talk about that.
I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
I know.
I've never personally seen that.
Yeah. Next
I
time
think
you
it might have been just a glitch.
No, next time you get the chance, look up a picture of him. If it was a glitch, I'd rather it be that than me going, what the hell does it mean?
Okay, let me look up a picture of Roxas. What's this? Kingdom Hearts. Okay. Images. Da, 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 da.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I see it now.
Yeah, I've always wondered what that meant. And what that was on about.
I never noticed that. Holy hell. I think that's just a decorative choice. Like,
well,
I don't fucking...
Well, I feel like there's a meaning behind it. I feel like there is some sort of purpose or some sort of point. And I've always, I'd love, and I just never see, or I haven't really looked up too much information on it, but... fuck you. But yeah, the intro is just way too lengthy. And that is what it is. You just work around it. Yoink, yoink.
It's still one of the best games ever made, in my opinion.
I mean,
I love Kingdom Hearts 2.
My favorite game would, and as you know, because I'm forcing you to play it in the future, is definitely Lost Odyssey. Lost Odyssey is a phenomenal story. You don't like RPGs, but I think you're gonna fall in love with the story.
No. You said that wrong.
JRPGs, whatever.
It's not whatever. There's a very clear distinction there.
Yes, there is a distinction. Either way, I think that you will enjoy the story of Lost Odyssey, because that's where it gets its meat. Its story is just insanely good. What happens? 1 second, gonna kill some
But
people.
if it takes you 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 60 hours to get there...
No, it doesn't. You get into the story right away. You find out you're an immortal, like, in the first, like, couple of hours of the game. The game doesn't... Like, it does keep some things back, because you gotta remember, your character's 1,000 years old in that game. And so you don't get all of the memories in one go, which is nice. It does pace itself well, but like the bread and butter that you're an immortal, you can't die, you're this, you're that. That's not held back. You learn about that fairly quick. So it doesn't like the game is long. It's easily an 80 to 100 hour game. But it doesn't lag.
Okay, and with this, I have to go. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. This seems like a good place
let's
to
wrap
wrap
up.
it up. So I'll go ahead and let you do your outro.
Thank you all for watching. This has been the Plagues of the Roundtable. Make sure you check out the description for my Patreon, Discord. Peace. Sky out.